There's something that happens in the quiet moments of the night. You close your eyes, trying to sleep, but your mind has other plans. Suddenly, memories from your past begin playing like an endless movie in your head. Maybe you remembered a mistake you made years ago. Maybe you thought about someone who hurt you. Maybe you replayed a conversation where you said the wrong thing, or remembered an opportunity you let slip away. And as these thoughts circled in your head, you felt that familiar weight in your chest. That heaviness that whispers, if only I could go back, if only I could change what happened. We've all been there. Every single person watching this video has wrestled with their past. Some people try to hide from it. Others talk about it endlessly. Some lock it away in the deepest corners of their hearts. But here's the truth that most people never realize. Your past doesn't have to be a prison. Today, we're going on a journey together, a journey from pain to peace, from regret to hope, from yesterday to tomorrow. If you're tired of carrying the weight of what was, if you're ready to learn how to let go and move forward, then stay with me. Because what I'm about to share with you has the power to change everything. The invisible backpack. Picture this. You wake up every morning and put on an invisible backpack. At first, when you were young, this backpack was light. Maybe it contained just a few small disappointments or minor embarrassments. But as you've grown older, you've been adding more and more to this pack. Every mistake becomes a heavy stone. Every failure becomes a brick. Every harsh word spoken to you becomes a weight you carry. Every opportunity you missed becomes another burden on your shoulders. Day after day, year after year, you've been loading this backpack with the remnants of your past. Now imagine trying to run a race while carrying this massive weight. Imagine trying to reach for your dreams while your shoulders are bent forward from all you're carrying. Imagine trying to embrace new opportunities while your hands are busy holding on to old pain. This is how most people live their entire lives. They carry their past everywhere they go. To work, to new relationships, to family gatherings, even to bed at night. No wonder they feel exhausted. No wonder they feel stuck. No wonder life feels harder than it should be. But here's what I want you to understand. That backpack isn't locked onto your shoulders. You can take it off. You can unload those stones. You can walk free. The question isn't whether you can let go. It's whether you're ready to make that choice. Think about the weight you're carrying right now. What stones are in your backpack? Is it guilt over something you did? Anger towards someone who hurt you? Regret over a path you didn't take? These weights aren't serving you. They're not making you stronger or wiser. They're just making your journey harder. When you recognize what you're carrying, you take the first step toward freedom. Because awareness is the beginning of change, you can't drop what you don't acknowledge you're holding. For example, imagine Sarah, a 35-year-old teacher who struggled with perfectionism. Every mistake at work sent her into days of self-criticism. She carried stones of childhood criticism from a demanding parent who never seemed satisfied with her achievements. Once Sarah recognized she was carrying her father's voice in her head, judging every imperfection, she could finally begin to put down that particular stone. Action step. Take a moment right now to write down 3 stones you're carrying in your invisible backpack. Maybe it's guilt over a relationship that ended badly. Maybe it's shame about a financial mistake you made years ago. Maybe it's resentment towards someone who didn't support you when you needed them. Be specific. Name these stones clearly because you can only release what you're willing to acknowledge. The trap of if only. There are 2 words that have destroyed more dreams and stolen more joy than almost anything else in human language. Two seemingly innocent words that create one of the most dangerous mental traps. If only. If only I had studied harder, I would have a better job. If only I had been braver, I would have told them how I felt. If only I had taken that opportunity, my life would be different. These thoughts feel almost comforting at first. They let you imagine a different version of your life, a better story, a happier ending. But that comfort is an illusion because every moment you spend in if only is a moment stolen from what now. Here's the brutal truth about if only thinking. It's a prison disguised as a palace. You think you're exploring possibilities, but you're actually trapped in a maze with no exit. You can walk through that maze for hours, days, even years, but you'll always end up back where you started, in the present moment, with the same life you're trying to escape. The real danger of if only is that while you're lost in regret, life keeps moving, opportunities appear and disappear. People come and go, time passes, and you miss it all because your eyes are fixed on yesterday. But there's a way out of this trap. Every time you catch yourself saying, if only, stop. Take a breath, then ask yourself a different question. What can I do now? Instead of, if only I had learned a new skill years ago, ask, what skill can I start learning today? Instead of, if only I had been kinder to that person, ask, how can I be kinder to the people in my life now? Instead of, if only I had saved more money, ask, how can I start building better financial habits today? This simple shift from if only to what now changes everything. If only makes you weak and powerless. What now makes you strong and capable. If only keeps you stuck. What now sets you free. The past is gone. You can't change it, rewrite it, or live it differently, but the future is still unwritten, and what now is the pen in your hand. Pain as your teacher. Pain has a terrible reputation. We run from it, hide from it, try to numb it with distractions or substances. But pain isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. And like any good teacher, it has lessons that can transform your life if you're brave enough to listen. Every wound carries wisdom. Every failure contains instruction. Every disappointment holds a message about what you truly value. The question isn't whether you'll experience pain. That's inevitable. The question is whether you'll learn from it. When someone breaks your heart, pain teaches you about trust, boundaries, and self-worth. When you fail at something important, pain teaches you about preparation, persistence, and humility. When you lose someone you love, pain teaches you about gratitude, presence, and the preciousness of time. But here's the key. The lesson only comes when you stop running and start asking the right question. Instead of, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? This shift in perspective doesn't minimize your pain or make it disappear, but it transforms your relationship with that pain. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become a student of life. You stop wasting your suffering and start using it to grow. Think about the most difficult experience of your life. I know it hurts to remember it, but what did it teach you? How did it change you? What strengths did you discover in yourself that you didn't know existed? What values became clearer to you? That difficult experience wasn't just something that happened to you, it was something that happened for you. It was life's way of preparing you for what comes next. It was your teacher disguised as your tormentor. When you can see your pain as education rather than punishment, you graduate from suffering and move into wisdom. You stop being defined by what hurt you and start being refined by what you learned. Forgiving yourself. Of all the people you'll encounter in your lifetime, there's one who will judge you more harshly than anyone else. One who will remember every mistake, replay every failure, and remind you of every shortcoming. That person is you. We are our own harshest critics. We speak to ourselves with a cruelty we would never show a friend. We hold ourselves to impossible standards and punish ourselves when we inevitably fall short. We become both the prisoner and the guard of our own mental jail. But self-forgiveness isn't about pretending your mistakes didn't happen or making excuses for poor choices. It's about recognizing a fundamental truth. You are human. You were not born with perfect knowledge or flawless judgment. You were born to learn, to grow, to make mistakes, and try again. Every decision you made with the information and emotional capacity you had at that moment. Could you have done better if you knew then what you know now? Of course, but you didn't know then what you know now. That's exactly why it's called learning. Self-forgiveness starts with a simple but powerful statement. I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. Now I know better, so I will do better. This isn't about lowering your standards or avoiding responsibility. It's about treating yourself with the same compassion you would show a friend who made the same mistake. It's about recognizing that punishing yourself doesn't change the past. It only poisons the present. When you forgive yourself, something beautiful happens. The energy you were using to carry guilt gets freed up. The mental space occupied by self-criticism becomes available for creativity and growth. The heart that was closed by shame opens to possibility. You stop walking through life bent over by the weight of your mistakes and start standing tall, ready to face whatever comes next. You stop being haunted by who you were and start being excited about who you're becoming. Remember, forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's choosing not to let the past control your future. It's deciding that you are more than the worst thing you've ever done. Choosing to move forward. Here's something most people don't understand about anger and resentment. They're not punishing the people who hurt you, they're punishing you. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. But moving forward doesn't always mean forgiveness. Let me be clear about this because it's important. You don't have to forgive everyone who hurt you. Forgiveness is a personal choice, and it's not always the right choice for every situation. What you do have to do is choose not to let those who hurt you continue controlling your life. You have to decide that your peace of mind is more important than your right to be angry. You have to choose your future over your past. Sometimes that choice looks like forgiveness, releasing resentment, and wishing the person well. Sometimes it looks like boundaries, cutting toxic people out of your life and protecting yourself from further harm. Sometimes it looks like justice, taking appropriate action to ensure accountability. But in all cases, it looks like this: refusing to let someone else's actions determine your emotional state. Refusing to give them the power to steal your joy, your peace, or your progress. The person who hurt you may never apologize. They may never understand the pain they caused. They may never face consequences for their actions. You can't control any of that, but you can control whether you let their actions continue to hurt you. Moving forward is about reclaiming your power. It's about saying, what you did to me was wrong, but I won't let it define me. I won't let it limit me. I won't let it destroy me. I am choosing to be bigger than what happened to me. This choice isn't easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. Some days you'll feel strong and free. other days, the old anger will creep back in. That's normal. Healing isn't linear, but every time you choose your peace over your pain, you get a little bit stronger. Every time you choose your future over your past, you move a little bit closer to freedom. The goal isn't to pretend the hurt never happened. The goal is to make sure the hurt doesn't happen again, not because someone else stops hurting you, but because you stop letting their actions hurt you. The rear-view mirror principle. When you're driving a car, you have a large windshield in front of you and a small rear-view mirror behind you. Have you ever wondered why the windshield is so big and the mirror is so small? It's because where you're going is more important than where you've been. Life works the same way. Your future should get most of your attention, your dreams, your goals, your possibilities. Your past should only get occasional glances, just enough to learn from it and avoid repeating mistakes. But most people live their lives backwards. They spend most of their mental energy staring into the rearview mirror of their past, only occasionally glancing at the windshield of their future. They know every detail of what went wrong yesterday but can't clearly see the opportunities available today. When you drive while staring in the rearview mirror, you crash. When you live while obsessing over your past, you miss your present and ruin your future. This doesn't mean you should never look back. The rearview mirror is important. It helps you stay aware and avoid danger, but it's meant for quick glances, not long stares. You check it, learn what you need to learn, then turn your attention back to where you're going. Your past is a reference, not a residence. It's a lesson, not a life sentence. It's something that happened to you, not something that defines you. The question isn't whether you have a past worth regretting. We all do. The question is whether you're going to let that past determine your future. Are you going to keep staring in the rearview mirror, or are you going to focus on the open road ahead? Your windshield is clear and wide because your future is full of possibility. Your rearview mirror is small because your past, no matter how painful, is just a fraction of your whole story. The best chapters are still being written. So, take a quick look back if you need to. Learn the lesson, then turn your eyes forward and keep driving. Your destination is ahead of you, not behind you. Building your new future. When you let go of the past, you create empty space in your heart and mind. This space must be filled, or your thoughts will naturally drift back to old memories and painful experiences. The key to lasting change is not just releasing what was, but building what will be. Your new future starts with a vision. What kind of life do you want to create? What kind of person do you want to become? What experiences do you want to have? What relationships do you want to build? What contributions do you want to make? This isn't about creating a perfect plan for your entire life. It's about giving yourself direction and purpose. When you know where you're going, every step becomes meaningful. When you have goals to pursue, past regrets lose their power to distract you. But vision alone isn't enough. Dreams without action remain dreams. The future is built through daily choices, small, consistent actions that compound over time into significant results. If you want to be healthier, start with a 10-minute walk today. If you want to be more educated, read one page of a good book. If you want better relationships, make one phone call to someone you care about. If you want financial freedom, save $1. These actions seem small, almost insignificant, but they're not. They're the building blocks of transformation. Each positive choice creates momentum. Each good habit makes the next good habit easier. Each step forward increases your confidence and strengthens your belief in what's possible. The beautiful thing about building a new future is that it doesn't require you to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers or make all the right choices. You just need to consistently choose growth over stagnation, progress over perfection, and forward over backward. Every day you work on your future is a day you're not imprisoned by your past. Every goal you pursue is a declaration that your best days are ahead of you. Every dream you chase is proof that you believe in your ability to create something better. Your past gave you experience. Your present gives you opportunity. Your future gives you hope. Focus on what you're building, not what you're leaving behind. Rewriting your story. The story you tell yourself about your life becomes your reality. If you see yourself as a victim of circumstances, you'll live like a victim. If you see yourself as a survivor who overcame adversity, you'll live with strength and resilience. The facts of your past can't be changed, but the meaning you assign to those facts is entirely up to you. You can choose to frame your difficult experiences as evidence of life's unfairness or as proof of your ability to endure and grow. This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending bad things didn't happen. It's about choosing which aspects of your story to emphasize. Every experience has multiple dimensions: the pain and the lesson, the loss and the growth, the ending and the new beginning. Instead of telling the story of how someone broke your heart, tell the story of how you learned to love yourself. Instead of focusing on the job you lost, celebrate the strength you found. Instead of dwelling on the opportunity you missed, highlight the wisdom you gained. When you change your story, you change your identity. When you change your identity, you change your possibilities. When you change your possibilities, you change your life. This process takes time and practice. You've been telling yourself the old story for years, maybe decades. It won't change overnight. But every time you consciously choose to frame your experiences in terms of growth rather than damage, resilience rather than victimhood, and hope rather than despair, you rewrite a little more of your narrative. Eventually, the new story becomes your default. Instead of seeing yourself as someone things happened to, you see yourself as someone who makes things happen. Instead of feeling powerless, you feel capable. Instead of being defined by your worst moments, you're inspired by your strongest ones. Your story is still being written. The chapters that came before have shaped you, but they don't have to confine you. You hold the pen. You choose what comes next. Action step. Write 2 versions of your life story. Version 1. Focus on what went wrong, what you lacked, and how you were victimized. Version 2. Focus on what you survived, what you learned, and how you grew stronger. Include the same major events in both versions, but frame them differently. Notice how each version makes you feel about yourself and your possibilities. Choose to tell yourself version 2 going forward, emphasizing your resilience, growth, and wisdom rather than your wounds and limitations. The power of support. Healing from the past and building a better future isn't something you have to do alone. In fact, trying to do it alone often makes it harder and slower than it needs to be. Connection and support are not signs of weakness, they're signs of wisdom. When you share your struggles with trusted friends, family members, or professionals, several powerful things happen. First, you realize you're not alone in your pain. Everyone has battled their past in some way. This normalizes your experience and reduces the shame that often accompanies difficult memories. Second, other people can offer perspectives you can't see from inside your own experience. They can help you recognize patterns, identify blind spots, and see possibilities you've overlooked. Sometimes an outside view is exactly what you need to break free from old thinking patterns. Third, when you speak your pain out loud, it often loses some of its power over you. Secrets and shame grow in isolation. When brought into the light of honest conversation, they often shrink. But not everyone in your life is equipped to provide the support you need. Choose your confidants carefully. Look for people who listen without judgment, offer hope without minimizing your pain, and encourage growth without rushing your process. If your past involves trauma, abuse, or mental health challenges, consider working with a professional counselor or therapist. They have specialized training in helping people process difficult experiences and develop healthy coping strategies. Support groups can also be incredibly valuable, especially if you've experienced specific types of loss or trauma. Being around others who truly understand what you've been through can be profoundly healing. Remember, asking for help isn't admitting failure. It's choosing success. It's recognizing that you're worth the investment of time, energy, and possibly money required to get better. It's understanding that you don't have to carry your burdens alone. The strongest people aren't those who never need help. They're those who are brave enough to seek it when they do. Action step. Identify one area where you've been trying to handle everything alone. Reach out to at least 2 people this week. This could be calling a friend to talk, joining a support group, scheduling a session with a therapist, or asking a mentor for guidance. If reaching out feels difficult, start by texting someone. I'm going through a tough time and could use someone to talk to. Are you free this week? Notice that most people are honored to be trusted with your struggles and want to help. Create a list of 3 to 5 people you can contact when you need support so you have options ready when difficult times arise. Living in the present. The past is gone and can't be changed. The future is uncertain and largely beyond your control. The only moment you truly possess is this one right now. Yet most people spend their lives anywhere but in the present. They're either replaying past events they can't change or worrying about future scenarios they can't predict. They miss the beauty, opportunity, and peace available in this moment because their minds are elsewhere. Living in the present doesn't mean you never think about the past or plan for the future. It means you don't let those thoughts steal your ability to fully experience what's happening now. It means you can remember without being trapped by memory and plan without being paralyzed by uncertainty. Mindfulness, the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, is one of the most powerful tools for breaking free from past and future obsessions. When you notice your mind drifting to old regrets or future worries, gently bring your attention back to what's happening right now. What do you see around you? What sounds do you hear? What sensations do you feel in your body? What emotions are present? This isn't about having a positive experience every moment. It's about having a real one. When you're fully present, something remarkable happens. Past regrets lose their emotional charge because you're not feeding them with your attention. Future anxieties diminish because you're not catastrophizing about what might happen. You discover that the present moment, even if it's not perfect, is manageable. Presence is also where your power lives. You can't change anything from the past. That's already happened. You can't directly control the future. That hasn't happened yet. But you can influence what happens right now through your choices, actions, and responses. The present moment is where healing happens. It's where relationships are built. It's where progress is made. It's where life is actually lived. Don't let the ghosts of yesterday or the shadows of tomorrow rob you of the gift of today. Creating new habits. Your past isn't just a collection of memories, it's also a set of habits. Ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving that became automatic through repetition. If you want to create a different future, you need to create new habits to replace the old ones. This is both challenging and hopeful. It's challenging because changing ingrained habits takes conscious effort and time. It's hopeful because it means you're not stuck with the habits that have limited you. You can literally rewire your brain through new choices and experiences. Start small. Identify one habit from your past that no longer serves you. Maybe it's the tendency to assume the worst in situations. Maybe it's the habit of isolating when you're stressed. Maybe it's the habit of negative self-talk when you make mistakes. Now choose a new habit to replace it. Instead of assuming the worst, practice looking for potential positive outcomes. Instead of isolating, reach out to supportive people. Instead of self-criticism, practice self-compassion. The key is consistency, not perfection. Every time you choose the new habit over the old one, you strengthen new neural pathways in your brain. Every time you catch yourself falling into old habits and consciously choose differently, you weaken those old pathways. It typically takes several weeks to several months to establish new habits, depending on their complexity and how long you've been practicing the old ones. Be patient with yourself during this process. Change is gradual and setbacks are normal. Track your progress by keeping a simple journal or using a habit tracking app. Notice the circumstances that trigger old habits and develop strategies for handling those situations differently. Celebrate small victories along the way. Remember, you're not trying to become a different person. You're trying to become the best version of yourself. The goal isn't to eliminate all traces of your past, but to ensure your past doesn't eliminate all possibilities for your future. The practice of gratitude. One of the most powerful tools for shifting your focus from past regrets to present blessings is gratitude. When you regularly acknowledge what's going well in your life, you train your brain to notice positive experiences rather than dwelling on negative ones. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect or minimizing real problems. It's about creating balance in your perspective. Pain and trauma deserve acknowledgement, but so do the good things in your life, even if they seem small. Every evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for from that day. They don't have to be major events. Maybe it's a kind word from a coworker, a good meal, a beautiful sunset, or simply having a warm bed to sleep in. The practice of looking for these moments trains your attention and gradually shifts your default mindset. Gratitude has a fascinating psychological effect. It's nearly impossible to feel genuinely grateful and genuinely miserable at the same time. When you're focused on appreciation, there's less mental space for rumination and regret. This doesn't mean you should try to feel grateful for traumatic experiences or minimize their impact. Rather, gratitude helps you recognize that your difficult past is not the whole story of your life. There are also threads of goodness, kindness, beauty, and hope woven throughout your experience. Over time, gratitude becomes a habit of mind. You start naturally noticing positive aspects of your daily experience. This creates an upward spiral. The more good you notice, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more likely you are to create positive experiences. The more positive experiences you have, the more reasons you have to be grateful. Gratitude also connects you with others in meaningful ways. Expressing appreciation to people in your life strengthens relationships and creates positive feedback loops. When you thank someone for their kindness, they're more likely to be kind again. When you acknowledge someone's efforts, they feel valued and motivated. This simple practice, spending a few minutes each day identifying what you're grateful for, can gradually transform your relationship with your past, your present, and your future. Action step: start a 3 good things journal. Every evening for the next 30 days, write down 3 things that went well that day and why you think they went well. They can be big things, getting a promotion, or small things. A stranger smiled at you, your coffee tasted perfect, you helped someone. For each item, explain why you're grateful for it and what role you played in making it happen. Research shows this simple practice can significantly improve mood and life satisfaction within just 1 week. Your new beginning. As we reach the end of our journey together, I want you to understand something profound. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by your mistakes. You are not condemned to repeat old patterns. You are not stuck in yesterday's story. You are a human being with the remarkable capacity for growth, change, and renewal. Every day you wake up, you have the opportunity to make different choices. Every moment you're alive, you have the power to redirect your path. Every breath you take is a chance to begin again. Your past has given you experience, some pleasant, some painful, all valuable. Your present gives you opportunity to learn, to grow, to connect, to contribute. Your future gives you hope for healing, for joy, for meaning, for love. The journey from past to future isn't always easy. There will be days when old memories feel overwhelming. There will be times when you question whether change is really possible. There will be moments when you're tempted to retreat into familiar patterns, even if they hurt you. But remember, every person who has ever transformed their life has faced these same doubts and challenges. What made the difference wasn't the absence of difficulty, but the presence of determination. What mattered wasn't whether they never fell down, but whether they kept getting back up. You have everything within you that you need for this journey. You have the wisdom gained from your experiences. You have the strength proven by your survival. You have the capacity for growth demonstrated by your very presence here, seeking to learn and change. Your new beginning starts now, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel completely ready, not when you have all the answers. Now, with whatever you have, wherever you are, however you feel. Take the first step. Put down 1 stone from your backpack of the past. Replace one, if only, with what now? Ask what one painful experience has taught you. Forgive yourself for 1 mistake. Choose to move forward from 1 hurt. Focus on today instead of yesterday. Build 1 small piece of your future. Rewrite one sentence of your story. Reach out to one supportive person. Practice presence in this one moment. Create one new positive habit. Feel grateful for one blessing in your life. One step, one choice, one moment of courage. That's how every transformation begins. Your past is finished, but your story isn't over. The best chapters are still being written, and the author of those chapters is you. Welcome to your new beginning.